Hi.
Hey!
Hi, how are you?
Doing wonderfully. How about you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for asking.
Of course. Yeah, get on cam if you want to slash are ready to.
All right, I'm here.
Hell yeah. Okay, wait, hold on. Picture in picture. Yeah, okay, I can figure this out. Let me get this on screen. In the meantime, how the fuck are you doing, comrade? What's up? What's on your mind? In general today,
Um,
how your feelings doing?
honestly, I had a really rough I've been having a really rough time, but I'm like today I'm so much better. So, I don't know, I've had this very energetic morning where I kind of wish I was back in dance classes. That's how I've been feeling.
Did you used to
So,
do dance?
I did. I used to do dance in high school. So I enjoyed that a lot. I still do. Well, I don't have a place, but I used to have a pole and I would also pole dance. So very expressive and enjoyable, but not having that kind of emotional outlet, like that connection between physically moving to express your emotions has been disappointing. I think I need to get back to the gym at the very
Yeah,
least.
pole dancing is pole dancing is some serious work. I when I was in college, there was a friend of mine who, along with like seven other friends, had a big old mansion that they rented out together in East Hollywood, and it had a big pole that ran up between the second and first floor, and the first floor room it led into had a bunch of pillows there. And every time they would have parties, everyone would go up and dance, and I was never particularly good at it, but holy shit, I was really strong back then, and I could barely move myself around with my feet off the ground. It's real
Yeah.
exercising.
Yeah, it's intense. I've wanted to pole dance before I was even out of high school. A lot of people associate it with stripping because that's where it came from, right?
Hmm.
And so I had to fight a lot to be like, no, it's also a form of just expression and intense exercise, intense. So yeah, I love it. And I wish more people would be open to trying it out and let people enjoy things without making it kind of weird, you know?
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there's a pretty like undeniably, a sexual element to the history of pole
mhm,
dancing. But I mean, it's just if you strip away sort of that broader context, there's it's no more or less legitimate or sexual any other, than any other type of dance.
mhm.
And it probably takes a lot more effort than most other types. So, you know, do you plan on getting back into that soon, or is this, a wish upon a star kind of thing right now?
Well, I have a pole, but the problem is I moved out recently and I'm with my sister and I'm figuring things out right now.
Hmm.
So it's like I can't put it up. And but once I get the chance, I want to. Like my two goals that I really realized today is I really want to get into self-defense classes
Hmm.
and I really want to get back into dance classes whenever I can. But these are long-term goals, So
Is the former for self-defense after the proletarian revolution ignites when Trump wins in 2020?
shh, don't give it away.
All right, okay, yeah. You don't want them forming lists early, Yeah, yeah, no doubt, So the reason why I want to talk to you, actually, so first of all, I should say, how long have you been streaming on Twitch now? Because I know you've been doing it for longer than you've been visible in the public eye. I know you've been doing it a little while longer than that.
Yeah, I streamed for way too long. League of Legends only with
Ooh,
no viewers. Yeah,
nice.
cringe. No. So I actually, it's kind of funny. I started out wanting to be a feminist, in the feminist, creating a feminist gaming space in League of Legends.
Hmm.
That did not go over well. The harassment was too much. Because I didn't have a community, So it was
Yeah.
just terrible people telling me they wanted to rape me in my chat. And I was just like,
The classic,
what the
yeah.
fuck? Yeah. So
I tried to do that in World of Warcraft too when I was really young. God, this must have been back in like
really?
Cataclysm or Wrath of the Lich King. But I remember I was just getting my little baby boy feminist chops, and I was thinking, geez, guys, gaming communities sure are toxic. What can I do to alleviate this? And I made a little guild, and it was called the Social Justice Warriors. And I got one member who came in over 2 weeks, and then I stopped. And then I stopped playing WoW for financial reasons. And then when I came back to it as a big boy leftist, you know, and I realized gamers can't be redeemed. It's kill or be killed. There's no point in trying to reason with them, you know?
Nah, fair enough, fair enough. I'm over on Twitch, and I'm just gonna say, yeah, okay.
Different lessons taken, maybe. When did you start with the League of Legends shit?
I had a partner in college, my freshman year. So I started playing, and then I went to a tournament, and I was like, wow, y'all are a mess when it comes to wanting women here, but treating them like shit. Like, so that's when I started, freshman year of high school. When did you start? WoW? Did you say?
Oh, I didn't stream back then. I was just playing WoW, but I've been playing WoW since I was like God, Jesus, I must have been 9. Because I started back when, I started back in with Classic. So yeah, I must have been 9 years old. Yeah, I was shit back then.
You mentioned you were a social justice warrior.
Oh,
what
no.
happened to? Would you consider yourself that, or?
Oh back then. Okay, so that was back in like Wrath of the Lich King. So I would have been in like late high school or like early college back then. And back then I was just getting into like liberal progressivism, you know? I was just getting into it. Wasn't proper leftism, you know? And the online community I hang out with back in that time, you know, mostly was the shit Reddit says community. Have you ever heard of them back on Reddit? They're pretty like old now.
No.
They're irrelevant now. But back in the day they were pretty relevant. And they had a very sort of like confrontational liberal approach towards progressive issues where you're very confrontational and very like, oh, you shitty cis male, like that kind of thing, you know what I mean? And you grow out of that phase eventually, at least I hope most people do. But the WoW shit's been going on forever. The only reason I'm not playing now, I don't have the fucking time, but I love me some raiding. That's the good stuff. The good old days.
Yeah, I don't have time for League anymore. I'm like, why play League when I could make myself miserable reading the news?
When did you start streaming?
I think maybe 2 or 3 or something. I don't know. Actually, maybe 4. I don't know. 4 years ago?
You are substantially more of a veteran than I am, then.
Really? When did you start?
I started at the beginning of last year. I'm about a year old on streaming.
What? Oh, but did you start YouTube earlier than that?
No, same time. Yeah, I got Yeah, kind of popped up. I was known in Destiny's community before I started streaming, so I had like an initial jump, and everything kind of popped off from there. You've been jumping up quite a bit yourself lately, on Twitch. At least from what I've seen. I'm not on Twitch anymore because of my, permanent ban and all that. But
yeah, that'll do it.
yeah, it seems like you've gotten quite a bit more prominent over the past like 4 or 5 months, which is pretty fucking rad, I think.
Yeah, I've been it's been mind-blowing, actually. I started growing, I switched over to variety, and I was like dog whistling to feminists by being like, I'm an inclusive gamer. And then we had a fight, like our community had a fight. I switched over to feminism and we were growing. And then I feel like it was like I got on Raj and then I met Destiny and we had TwitchCon and it was like growth. I was like, what is happening? You know, but here we are and I'm surrounded by incredible people like you and so many like other people who have been coming over to Twitch. And it's been exciting because I'm in Indiana. I don't really have a ton of leftists around me. Right. So suddenly I'm like, wow, I have friends.
Yeah, this
is exciting.
You don't need to like butter my bread or anything. Because that's when I heard about you on Raj Royale. The first time I heard about you, and okay, so wait, I need to explain some context here. So the reason I got banned and the reason why I have very few friends in like the broader lefty space is because I'm edgy, and I've always been pretty performatively edgy, and I love it. I'll never ever stop. Always win, never lose. And when I saw you on the Raj Royale, and the first time I saw you was when you told Rem, and I'm not drama stirring here, that he was being a toxic piece of shit. To editorialize slightly, it was fucking hilarious. Oh my fucking God. So leaving aside personal feelings, holy shit, that was fucking funny. And at first I thought, like, okay, you know, good moment, whatever. Ava looks pretty sick. Whatever, probably wouldn't like me very much. You know, they're more like they do like the nice politics and stuff. Most of the types who do the nice politics don't like me very much. I actually looked a little bit more into your content. You actually do fucking rad content. You know, yeah. I can't ever pop in chat, you know, not like official, like, you know, but I do see it. And it's actually really uplifting because you seem really committed to not just, you know, attacking conservative positions, but sort of making positive or prescriptive statements about how the left should be, what kind of communities we should build, which I think is lacking.
Yeah, I feel that way. I notice a lot of people reacting to what we need to fight against, and I think that's important. I don't want to ever come off as if I'm like saying, oh, y'all aren't doing important work. I believe you are for so many reasons. But I do think we also need something that we're excited to fight for and that people are excited to come into. This is something I've noticed a lot, that people are like, oh my gosh, it's stressful over here in like left Twitter or left Twitch or whatever. And I'm just like,
it's so fucking stressful being a leftist among other leftists, dude. Holy shit, we make it hard for ourselves sometimes. It's like how 90% of the reason American prisons are terrible, not to say the institution isn't, but it's because the prisoners are conditioned to like make life hell for one another, you know? I feel that's what we're all in prison together, baby. Lefty Twitter, that's our own, the cages, let me out, but there is no out, you know?
And I'm just like, listen, y'all, we could be a little nicer to each other. I'm sure we could figure it out. And then people would be excited to be over here, right? That's what we want. Like, it shouldn't be miserable to be around us. That's like my goal. One of my goals is to make it cozier.
For the uninitiated, yeah, of course, yeah. For the uninitiated in chat, how do you typically like conduct your streams? Are there any like not principles, that sounds lofty, but are there like guiding intentions that sort of direct how you try to coordinate your community or direct your streams?
I'm sorry, are you asking me or chat?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm asking you. Like, is there any principle by which, or principles by which you try to keep things like cozy? Like any ideas you keep in mind or any rules you set, informal or otherwise?
Yeah, so we're still working out our mod philosophy. We used to be incredibly ban heavy. Now we're incredibly timeout heavy. And this is why a lot of people just be wiling out on the internet. And I'm like, listen, you can't just show up to my stream and ask me who I fuck. Okay? Like, you can't be doing that.
That's what my stream is for. We do that here. Not,
yeah, you do that in literally any other stream. So many other people will take you with that behavior. Ours is a particular environment to discuss these topics in depth and work on practicing having difficult conversations and communicating well on that. If you are in a mood that you can do that, take yourself out. Come back later. We would love to learn and grow with you. And that's our whole thing. It's very focused on, we're not doing damage here. This is a particular space. And if you're not keeping up with that, we want you back, but right now isn't the time. So it's like, I almost take it as, I know that as a feminist, and as someone who used to identify as a woman, and then I came out as non-binary once I found out what that it was, it feels like minorities sometimes get beat with this stick of civility. And I've decided, no, I'm taking that stick.
I'm beating the shit out of all of you with, you will never meet my stand. No, I think that's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. You know what it reminds me a little bit of? There's only one other person who I can think of who makes a very active effort to keep a positive community on Twitch. I know there are probably many I don't know of, but have you ever heard of somebody called Lethal Frag?
No, I haven't.
They've been they're one of like the they're one of the oldest streamers on Twitch. They did this 2-year live stream challenge. They've been doing it for like 9 years now. It's crazy. And
Oh,
what
wow.
they do, they stream like the same games every day, basically very consistent, very calm, and they have like an apolitical approach towards keeping calmness in chat. So it's very like you know, keep everything wholesome, positive, kind. You can inform me, gameplay suggestions. Don't make demands of me. You know, don't discuss other streamers in chat. Don't talk about stuff that might make people uncomfortable. If you do this, we'll time out you for a bit. I'll explain. Hey, it's nothing personal. Just trying to bring you back. It's very apolitical. In his case, there's no politics, like none to be found anywhere on the stream. But the broader attitude about sort of keeping away from the internet's tendency towards performative cruelty is very interesting to me, because the internet is mostly very, very cruel. That's the guiding, because once you have anonymity and nobody can punch you in the face for what you're saying, like, you know, gloves are off. And to people who make the effort to like keep that out of the community, I think that's very admirable. It's incredibly difficult. I wouldn't even begin to try with my community. I don't want to try, but I can't imagine how difficult that would be.
It can be, and it's especially difficult when, like, I am here trying to, I walk a very like careful line, because I want to help people who want to learn and grow as allies to minorities, and sometimes they're gonna mess up, right? But then sometimes we have minorities coming in getting very hurt by things where I'm just like, I'm supposed to help these people learn, and then I have to we have to time out minorities like getting angry and venting, and I think that's probably
no.
It's like horrible. It's horrible. So we're still learning and developing, because it's like we demand civility. We end up demanding civility of everyone, right? And it's so difficult. I would not be, my mods do so much work. Like, that's all I've got to say. I don't know. My gosh.
How do you deal when oppression Olympic stuff comes up? Or when, because you just said sometimes you have to time out minorities and it feels bad, and I totally get that. But let's be fucking real here. Okay, we can be, you know, we can take the gloves off a little. A lot of minority groups, really fucking snowflakey and sensitive sometimes on a personal level, not on a political level, just easy to upset. And sometimes I feel like these people, you know, get up upsetting themselves a smidge, you know, looking for things to get offended by. And I'm sure that happens in your community, because I see it happen everywhere else. How do you deal with when people seem like they're looking for an excuse to find upsettedness from a space where there really shouldn't be any? You know?
So I think what I would say here is I'm like the biggest snowflake. Okay. I think maybe I handle it a little differently than some people, right? I try to not, I don't react in anger. A lot of people react in anger, right? And we think, oh, they're very offended. To me, when I see that, I see they are upset by something. And whether or not that is valid, my first thing is to de-escalate and hear them. And I know a lot of people don't want to do that, because especially like a large content creator like yourself, there's probably just so much, right? And I mean, when I had a moment recently where I upset a few people and I was hurt because they're lashing out at me, and I'm like, I thought we were friends, right? And all of a sudden it feels like you're coming after me, you're responding really strongly to things I didn't mean to say that way, you know? And I think what I realized from that moment is it was my experience, and I can only speak to my experiences, right? So I understand a lot of other content creators have a lot of different experiences, and I can only speak to mine. But for me, I was able to say, hey, look, can we hop in a call? Like, can we talk about this? Let me hear you out. And
that is a level of commitment. Holy shit. You must really care about being nice to people, because I could not fathom putting that effort in. My God.
I had 4 calls that night, and it was just a lot of listening. And to me, it's listening and repeating back. And then, but the thing is, right after I listened to them, they were totally diffused. I just repeated back, like, here is what I learned. And I learned from that experience. Like, I learned that words I was using, they have certain reactions to in ways that, like, I didn't, like, I wasn't familiar with how this was used because I stay curled up in my cozy little community,
Right.
So I felt it was instructive. And then we even hopped on stream, my next stream together, and we talked out like some of the words, and we talked out some of the stances that we took, and I found it really helpful. I found it incredibly helpful. But of course, we can't always do that, right? Like, it's not like every time anyone on the internet is upset with us, we can just say, hey, why don't you have an hour-long call?
Conversation. Yeah, let's remediate our grievances in the feeling dome, But after all that, you learn to stop dropping N-bombs during your cozy streams. As you realize, oh wait, this is a slur in some communities, and you pull back with.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's basically what happened.
That's really admirable. I come at this from. So do you? And I'm out of curiosity. Do you know what type of content I tend to create?
Vaguely, I do know that you debate some people. I know that sometimes slurs happen. And I've decided that if I ever debated someone, I think I have to debate you, Vosh. I don't think I would.
No, I mean, if you ever get around to it, I'd be happy to. Of course, unfortunately, you couldn't stream it because then you get banned. But you know what? I'm always open to the invitation. I know the rumor mill gets around. I try to limit. I mean, I guess I say the R slur from time to time. I say faggot all the time. But as somebody who has sex with men, I feel I have a divine right, whatever the case may be. The type of content that I produce, it's very heavy on the debates, very heavy on the performative, like aggressive condemnation of opposing viewpoints. And invariably what this means is that sensitivity is a currency that I have very little of, because to consider the feelings of everyone who questions a given thing that I say is to invariably admit weakness to people who are on the fence about watching my content and may be swayed by, if nothing else, my conviction. Let me think, like, for example, like, because, I don't know how often you engage with right-wing types, I imagine not too often, because you keep your community safe from that shit.
Just in my real life, not in.
Okay. But then, right-wingers respond to strength more than almost anything else. Not so much reason. That's just, if you've got the biggest dick or the biggest gun, it doesn't matter. That's what they respond to. So if I'm going off on some rant where I'm talking about how the degenerate, southern states of the United States need to be swathed in nuclear hellfire so as to save our innocent children from pedophile, fundamentalist Christians, and I'm going off in a big rant, spit flying everywhere, everyone's having fun. But a few people in chat correctly point out, hey, there are comrades in the southern states. Indiscriminate murder is wrong, Vosh. You should know better. True. That's true. But to concede or to engage with that concern is to take away from the strength of the aforementioned rant. So I can't do that. And I often feel like it's a weakness or a limitation, because it invariably juxtaposes my ability to convince with my ability to engage with nuance. And that can be a really tough line to walk sometimes. I don't know if there's like a hard solution to it. It's one of the reasons why I want to bring you on, because you have such a different approach to navigating the disagreements in an online space. It's probably something most people could take a few pages from.
Yeah. So I was actually coming on to learn why you do what you do, right? Because to me, I don't understand. Like, I've heard, of course, whenever they hear like, oh, Eva's talking to Vosh, I get a bajillion opinions, and I'm just like, whoa, everyone slow down. Like, this is a lot to take in. But one thing I do hear often is regarding like the R slur, right? And so I was like, I don't know. When I watch Like, I haven't watched a ton of your content, but whenever I do sit down and watch something, or whenever I have something playing, it's typically probably listening to something you've done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I don't know. Vosh seems like a really good speaker. Vosh seems like he's really got his points down. Vosh seems very charismatic. Does he really need the R slur? Like, why do you use slurs, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I'm comfortable. The F. I guess I'll be real. I'll be very gloves on with the F slur. I should say I'm fine using the F slur. I think because I think in the broader context of my community and the content I engage in with my aggressively pro LGBT rhetoric. I mean, God, half my videos, maybe even more, are me, you know, talking up trans, gay, whatever. So I feel like in the context it would be very difficult for somebody to make the argument that I exacerbate homophobia by using that word. And to the credit of that argument, I've never seen anyone say that. People usually go after the R slur thing. The R slur thing is more of a verbal tick. I didn't do it for a little while. I withheld it for a few years, but then I talk with so many Nazis, Eva. It's so many. They're insane. They're like lice. You know, you dig and they never entirely come out of a community unless you get out the big guns. Unfortunately, engaging with the vernacular of some of the less savory people on the internet, it invariably has a sort of osmosis effect. Not an excuse, but that is probably why it entered the lexicon again. Then the last time I used the R slur, I think was during the Sargon debate, which was very, very public, so a lot of people heard that. I do think that for the most part, my content is pretty, honestly, not problematic. Invariably, it's like with Destiny in that sense. If 99% of what you do is A, but the B part is what, people object to, that's what's going to get clipped. That's what people are going to talk about. I have heard some pretty legitimate concerns about maybe like ableism in my community. I think that ableism is a really difficult subject to talk about because there are degrees of ableism that I think have a legitimate justification behind them, like in a rhetorical sense. For example, if I couldn't call Nazis stupid, I lose a massive rhetorical tool in regards to using sort of performative cruelty to convince those people that I'm stronger. I think the benefits outweigh the negatives. Was saying the R slur? Probably not, but it's nonetheless a shakier line than say with I don't know, like being transphobic, like with transphobia, there's probably like ironic transphobia will probably not win me any more converts to the left than more carefully phrased satire that isn't transphobic wouldn't also. And that would do less harm as well. But that's probably the gist of it. I don't think it's like a hard part of my content or anything like that. I justify it as much as I would justify like the 2 times a stream I pound my desk and accuse chat of being Weasley little liars. It's just it's a little habit that's developed. It's probably something I could cut down on a little bit.
All right. Well, if you would, I would really appreciate that, and I know my community would as well. So
yeah, so there is one question I want to ask you though, really, really quickly. So a lot of people mention that I use slurs. I imagine to you. I imagine a lot of people will also tell you that I'm reactionary in certain elements. The accusation that I'm NB-phobic, for example, came up. There was like a drama flood of that 2 weeks ago. It was mostly unsubstantiated. It was fun arguing. I love the drama.
I noticed that.
one thing that, yeah, I mean, it's content, it's engagement, it gets me viewers, it gets me money, and viewers and money means that YouTube prioritizes the algorithm. That means more conservatives watch me, that means they get converted. Every day I get emails from former Nazis or conservatives saying, hey man, thanks for taking me out of the pipeline. Feels great. That's most of the good feels I get from doing all of this. But one thing that I do worry about a little bit is when you ask me not to use the R slur or whatever, I know you're acting in good faith. Trust. When a lot of people do it, though, I feel like they're over-fixating on the aesthetics of problematic behavior to the detriment of addressing broader patterns and methods of tackling problematic behavior. Because if somebody wanted to mount an argument against reactionary behavior, I don't think you would do it by targeting one's slur usage. You would do it by targeting like the ways in which their content or rhetoric actively promote bigoted behavior in an audience. Whereas when I say the R slur, mostly my chat just yells at me for being, you know, a meanie head, I guess. Do you feel, in your opinion, I'm not saying that you did this again, because I think you act in good faith, but do you think that there's a broader pattern of people on the left using the aesthetics of problematic behavior as a guise to allow them to directly impugn the character of the people they dislike, rather than actually engaging with the meaning of what they're saying?
Now, and again, I can only speak from my community, and I will acknowledge that I'm newer, right? I would say no. But I understand you're probably going to disagree with me here, perhaps. I guess I haven't seen it, right? I have seen people come after. I'm pretty sure that it was the drama that I had, that I sat down and I listened to a ton of people, was over me covering your NB phobia. Like, and how I handled that. I'm pretty sure that was it. But
oh wait, did you go over that on stream too? Oh wait,
yeah.
how did that go? Wait, give me a grade. What are we getting? Mark me. So, I don't know if you're older than me.
I basically said, like, this was cringe. Like, I said, like, this is a topic I wouldn't have even covered, because I get nervous covering certain topics. Just because, like, talking about whether or not, if you're referring to the whether or not you're gay.
While I was running around Resident Evil. That was the clip. Okay. Yeah, the Resident Evil clip, yeah.
I straight up just said I would have been uncomfortable covering that on stream, because this is something I've been thinking about a lot. And I have my own feelings and opinions, but I don't know that I have a very solid decision on, like, how my identity affects other people's identities. All I know is I personally would be really uncomfortable with people calling themselves straight, because it does invalidate my identity. But at the same time, I don't feel like I have control over other people's identities. So it's this really uncomfortable area for me, right? And then I got angry, and the reason I got angry is because I felt like there was a lot of missing context from that clip. I'm like, he went into, like, how this could make non-binary people, or even binary trans people, feel, right? And so I got frustrated about the out of context clip. And then we had this whole discussion on, like, some people didn't even feel it was out of context, or that the additional context helped. Whereas I did, like, I really did, for a lot of reasons. So
as streamers, we have to stand united against clip chimping. Okay, together, we have to defend ourselves. You know.
And I feel like that was something I was personally really upset about. I know other people didn't feel like the additional context was needed. For me, it was, because I would have been like, fair. I was still like, I don't even know that I would cover this topic, and I'm a non-binary person. So I don't know. You would have thought I would have put a lot more, like, I would have a clear answer to this, you know, but that isn't necessarily the case.
Well, I don't think that's the case. Also, it's like a niche answer. I mean, I think most people, most of us esteemed philosophers of gender theory know gender and sexuality, they're cringe. You know, they're just cringe anyway. You know, very cringe. They are. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So when we're dealing with the particularities of identity and how they intersect with language and how that intersects with people's, like, the perceptions of one identity, like, it's a complicated web over which there are no specific hard answers. It's mostly a matter of navigating and finding an answer that works best for whoever is using the specific terms in question. I like discussing stuff like that specifically because, as a gender abolitionist, unveiling the hypocrisies in the way in which we consider the relationship between gender and sexuality make it even more evident how stupid the concepts are to begin with. I also like riling chat up, you know, that's a personal preference of mine. I just like getting them angry a little bit, you know, just a little bit angry as a treat for me.
Oh my gosh, fuck.
Oh no, well that's, I have to do that, you know. Fuck these people. The chat, I love them. Fuck these people though. Because the unfortunate reality of engaging in any kind of like hard controversial discussion means that people are going to be ostracized or upset from your community. I encourage anyone who feels that way to like you said, you know, but harsher in my case, take a fucking seat and go away from the stream for a little bit. But invariably people are going to be mad, and if there's nothing that one can do about that, just as a matter of course, then you know, all you can really do is just sort of prepare for and expect the antagonism to arise between you and your community. Destiny has mastered this. His community hates him, he hates his community, but they both love each other, you know? It's a beautiful dichotomy.
I'm still figuring it out. I have decided, I recently had a little bit of a struggle for sure. Because another content creator recently told me, you are the nicest person I've met, and left YouTube and left Twitch. And I'm like, is it okay for me to troll my trolls? I have been so salty recently because I like can't help it. Someone comes in and they say some really just absurd stuff, and I can't not troll them. And I've recently decided that it is okay to troll my trolls. But then I see, I haven't seen you do it so much, but like, do you know Bad Bunny?
I know Bad Bunny, yeah.
Oh boy. I adore Bad Bunny, but sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, is your chat okay? Like, are you guys okay?
She'll absolutely go off. No, Bad Bunny, I think, has mastered certain levels of antagonism with her chat, you know. Fuck, what's the closest that I do? I can't think. I actually can't think. Honestly, you know what? I take it back. I'm a slave to these stupid pieces of shit in my community. I'm too nice to them. I'm too easy on them. We got to go harder, okay? We got to go much harder. I agree. Thank you, Eva, for showing me the light.
This isn't... No.
We're going much harder, okay?
No.
I'm skipping donos. I take the money and run. We're going over topics that I didn't announce beforehand, and not going over topics I did announce beforehand. And I'm wearing more clothing, less chest hair for them to look at. I know a couple of them really care about that. A couple of them really care about that.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, speaking of appearance, nice fucking scarf, by the way. That's a really fucking
thank you.
Sick fit.
Thank you. Actually, information you probably never needed, but this is the outfit, the one outfit I have that helps me reduce my gender dysphoria without wearing my binder. And I couldn't wear my binder today, so here I am. But it's, yeah,
you know,
I love
most
this.
people, you lucky shit, most people don't get to look that good on their one outfit. You know, for most people, it's the baggy hoodie. So nicely done with the fashionable scarf. You know.
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't have any gender dysphoria. I recently got a pair of shorts, short shorts. You know, like if I put them on, like you can see my ass hanging out the back, and it says "Flat Earth, Fat Ass," and that's my outfit of the day.
Oh my god.
That's my takeaway. Okay, you've got your scarf. I've got that. It doesn't alleviate anything for me. I just like it.
Have you debated flat earthers, by the way?
Actually, no, I haven't. And one of the reasons why I haven't, I know I would lose if they are intelligent enough. Conspiracists are very difficult to argue with. Wait, what's up? Oh, hey, wait, toss it. Blind toss it. Yeah, there we go. See, Chad can...
I think they shrunk.
They shrunk? Well, my ass will stretch them out. See, Chad can see. There we go. Sorry, my shorts here. I don't know if you're watching stream, but it's good content, you know. I put a pic on Twitter. Conspiracists are really difficult to debate if they know their chops. Because they're starting from an unfair playing field. They don't have to adhere to like a reasonable interpretation of available evidence. Whereas you do, they'll call you out on your deviations from logic. But if you call them out, they'll point out that it's just part of the conspiracy. Same thing with JQer, the Jewish question types like Nazis, who I have argued with. Anti-vaxxer types. The JQ stuff I'm relatively good at because I encounter that content so often. But apart from that, that shit's spooky. The conspiracy types, you know?
Wait, JQ, what's that?
A Jewish question. It's the idea that that Jews are orchestrating an international plot through control of finance and the politicians to destroy the white race by bringing in brown and black people to fuck our women, so we get bred out of existence. It's it's good.
Soros and stuff.
Yep. It's a good one. And they've called me a Jew, which is really funny because my family's Polish Catholic and Irish Catholic. My father was going to become a priest before he lost his faith. So that's where I'm traditional Catholic, Fuentes approved. Whatever the case may be. Yeah, you don't do debates at all, right?
I go on the Raj Royale. I don't call what I do there debating unless someone says something just absolutely absurd, like that feminism is about hating men, then I'll go off. But I just have my short moments of I'm going off on this particular topic that I know I can just wipe the floor with you on, and then I'm back to being snug because I prefer being snug. Just don't be absurd, and we won't have to do that, and that's how I feel.
Oh wait, so, I actually meant to ask about this. If we've covered drama that touches me, out of curiosity, you don't have to answer if you don't want to. But in the latest Raj Royale, you know of course the Jenna controversy. Do you and it was after most other folks were eliminated, like you and Jenna, Destiny and stuff. How did you? And I'm not asking you to drama monger, of course. You don't have to if you don't want to. But I'm really curious because, so for context for chat, so Jenna, let me see if I remember this. Okay, Jenna, is she a booby streamer? I don't say that with any negative connotation. I love, yeah. Woo, baby.
Yeah. We've got a pup. Sorry.
No, not at all. So booby streamer or some kind of sexy lady streamer. I don't know. Whatever. It's good. Not a problem. That's what I do. Okay. All I've got is my face. And apparently she was like flirting with some guy, and then she wanted to make out, and he was like, "Oh no, I don't wanna." And she was like, "You fucking pussy! If you don't make out with me, I'm gonna go tell Stream. Everyone's gonna think you're gay or whatever." And then so they, making out or do whatever. And she comes back to the stream later and brags about it. Like, who? See, look, my feminine wiles got this guy to like me. This is basically sexual assault, and this kind of came up in big drama, tornado, and they went on the Raj Royale, which is a debate podcast. And I'm really curious because when I saw you and Jenna and Destiny there, Destiny's obviously going hard on her. That's pretty much his, modus operandi. And you were trying to take more of I wouldn't say it's a sympathetic approach, more of a trying to reach them where they'll listen. How did you go into that? Because the art of convincing people who are wrong is my more than anything else what I'm interested in. So how did you approach that situation?
So for me, the first thing is I recognize that she's having a bit of an amygdala hijack, right? She's freaking out. She's in fight or flight mode because she's seeing this clip that's really old is circulating. She has her view of it and she's very there on it, right? And she has reason. We as streamers know that our reason is going to be, maybe you don't feel as strongly about this, but I don't want to be dragged. I don't want to be being called a rapist, things like that, right? And so I know that she is very invested in defending herself.
I just want to clarify, I also don't like being called a rapist. I'm putting that one forward onto the docket.
Yeah, I have a feeling most people hate that shit,
Yeah, so probably.
yeah, it seems like something people don't enjoy. And so I realized we're on this Raj Royale in front of tons of people and she thinks we're just gonna go hard on her. And quite frankly, I don't know if Raj understood, but I'm sitting over here, massive men's lib person. I would have gone pretty hard on that topic. I know Destiny was gonna go hard on it. But my first thing is to de-escalate because I cannot reach her if she is in that state where she is just defending and she feels alone. I want to hear her first. But the problem there that Destiny sees is he has to say the thing that is fair and right, or not fair, but right? This was not an okay thing. And I agree with him, but I'm just trying to de-escalate her, because going after someone when they're already in that defensive mode, especially when, like, I know I can feel her fear, you know, she doesn't want this to be out there. She doesn't want to have to deal with this more. So I just want to calm her down. And then ideally in real life, then later we would have a chat and we would go back over it. Right. But we're not in real life. We're on the fucking Raj Royale.
Yeah, it's
right now.
happening here. It's happening now, to great consequence for everyone involved.
Yeah. So actually, I was really a little mind blown, because Raj picked up on me saying, listen, Destiny, my goal was to de-escalate and then, like, talk about it. And Raj actually picked that up and DM'd me and was like, hey, you know, I tried to de-escalate. And I was like, oh, thank you for, like, picking up my tactic. I
actually like Raj a lot. I can say that now fairly.
I adore Raj.
Yeah, because before I would have just been trying to suck up to him to get on the Raj Royale, but now it's never happening. I actually like Raj a lot. He seems fairly progressive minded. He always has this like this frettered, like 7:30 a.m. like mom trying to get ready for her kids' like lunches and stuff and get ready for work. Like that's the feeling that I get from him a little bit. You know, he's always like, guys, TOS, and hey, let's keep it easy here. You know, and, oh man, I was gonna bring this person on, but they said, oh jeez, okay, wait, please calm down a little bit here. And I like Raj a lot. You know.
Yeah. I am very mindful of the social situation and how things are flowing. Like, that's what I grew up trying to be, a woman in the best way I understood in a conservative area. And that's taking care of everyone else's social needs. And so I see Raj do that, and I, like, want to be there and help him. And I'm just like, I just adore you, Raj. You're just a sweetheart that wants to figure things out. And, like, you stir up drama, but you're always making sure, like, I feel like he makes sure you're okay, you know? And I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, I respect him a lot. When I'm big enough, I don't know if I'm big enough yet. How big do we have to get? Like 4K, 5K viewers consecutive? When I'm big enough, I'll message him and I'll like just try to talk to him a little bit, you know, tell him I appreciate what he does, because he's like, guy's huge, you know. Do you think, so with the Jenna situation, do you think that, and again, this isn't to impugn Destiny, which I do plenty on my off days, you know, but do you think you would have been more successful in being able to control the situation, de-escalate, and explain if Destiny wasn't there doing his own strategy for dealing with Jenna?
Of course, but I think Destiny and I have different purposes, right? Like, so absolutely, I feel like I would have managed, but then we have two different things. Like, Destiny has his goal, I have my goal, and we're both trying to do what we got to do, and they're the opposite, right? So Destiny's just like, what the heck? And I'm just like, well, Destiny, hang on. Yeah. So I'm going to be going on and talking to Destiny somewhat soon, and I'm going to actually bring this up and talk to him a little bit about it, because the whole thing was super rushed and we didn't get to, you know.
Yeah. And I haven't even seen the whole thing. I've only seen maybe 6 minutes of when it was just you four at the end. It was you and Destiny and Jenna. I forget who the fourth person was. Do you remember? That was when the clip jimping really took off.
No, that was, wait.
Or was it only
Destiny,
you three?
Me. No, it was 4. Mia and I believe Canute.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure.
I do not think much of Canute personally. But with regards to that, because I'm curious, I would probably have taken Destiny's position on this, because my thought is if there are two approaches to take on this, you know, you can try to reconcile and explain, or you can destroy her. You know, Squad W, you know, Grug. And both of them are valid ways of getting a point across. It's really who's reached by that. And when I think of situations like this, with Jenna or with Jenna's very problematic behavior, to speak the absolute least, it reflects a broader tendency towards chauvinistic, you know, sort of paternalistic sexism that women get treated with, and also, frankly, misandry, you know, with the expectation that men should be able to put out, you know, because otherwise they're gay or whatever. Or if misandry is not the right word, you know, men's lib tendency towards feminism. I have no problem calling myself a feminist. And when I think of that, and the types of people who are swayed by these, I think of a bunch of greasy Twitch bros, who are themselves, I'm just going to speak frankly, in every conceivable sense socially and sexually inadequate, but still find time during their day to shit on men online for not being masculine enough. That's who I think of when I think of the people who would see the Jenna thing go down and would need a talking to. And I wonder if destroying Jenna, just popping the fuck off, you know, just going on a laundry list of everything that she did wrong. I wonder if that has the potential to change the minds of more people than your approach, which would no doubt work better for her personally, and is infinitely kinder, and would definitely reach people. I just don't know how well the people who need to hear that message would respond to kindness, I guess, because I don't think of a kind person when I think of the sort of person who believes the things Jenna believed. I don't know which is better. Do you believe your method is like more in a utilitarian sense effective at changing other people's minds as well? Or is it more of a priority towards being kind to those who need that kindness?
So this is kind of.
So I just talked a lot. My apologies.
No. This is a really good topic. No, you are 100% fine. So I don't know what would be more effective. What I am trying to teach, though, like there are additional layers, right? For me, there's a whole conversation we have to have. I would even have is like, notice how I'm treating this conversation. Would you trust me? Like if the genders were flipped, if Jenna was a guy and he had done this to a girl,
Squad W.
How would you have felt if I handled this situation in a same way? Like, are you considerably angrier with, you know, and like talking about the men's liberation aspects of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many conversations to go in. I think the area that I am weak at is, am I keeping people there? Are they going to hear me out to the end? Yelling and crushing people, demolishing them is something that grabs eyes and people like are stuck to, right? I can't handle it. I'm just like, no, I'm out. But a lot of people that draws them in, right? Whereas I'm more like my audience is going to be the people who don't want that and who want to build and see a way for reformation for everyone almost, right? Like even the guys and girls and NB pals that have done pretty bad things in their past, including, you know, sexual assault and the whatnot, hopefully getting to that area where we can have these conversations and not expect victims to forgive, but as a society, like help people reform. And so it's like modeling that I think is more important to me than grabbing the most viewers. Destiny, you are going to have a totally different plan and you might have more viewers because of that. I'm not sure. You might change more people's mind in a different way than I will. And hopefully in us working together, we can get somewhere beautiful with that, right? So I almost don't focus on who's going to grab more, but where do we fit in is what I focus on, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think not only is there room for both approaches within any given person, there's also a necessity for both approaches in a broader left-leaning space. Because as effective as demolishing people can be for immediate attention and sometimes conversion power, you have no staying power if you can't make statements about why the left is better to be in long term. This is one of the things that we are incapable of being worse at than the far right. Lefty Twitter is a hellhole, and I think anyone who spent any length of time there knows this. Horrible people. They can all die, but except you and I, of course, we're also in Lefty Twitter, and a few other people. You know, Lexi, Pig, Conyer. But
did you say Conyer?
Conyer CC.
Really?
The twinky little Hispanic guy, really fast talker. Yeah, he's a friend of mine.
Really? That's nice.
Do you have you engaged with him in the board?
I just recently met Pig Puncher. I follow Conyer and we met each other on American Johnson's stream?
Non-competes. Yeah, non-competes.
Non-compete, yeah. So I did briefly get to meet him.
Yeah, or he, they,
okay.
I think. But he, yeah,
Okay.
he, or they. They're very, very cool. I like him quite a bit. He's actually going to be visiting me in a little while, over here in Washington.
That's awesome. I hope you both have a lot of fun.
Yeah, go around, go to Mount Rainier. It's gonna be a good ass time. But the point I was laboriously making my way to, in entirely too long a time, was that aside from lefty Twitter being hell, right-leaning spaces, right-leaning social spaces, a very right-leaning social spaces, because I'm very left-leaning, I'm pretty far left, but very right-leaning social spaces like 4chan, Poll 8chan, the incels.me, place, Telegram, BitChute, Gab, any of these spaces, they're horrible to each other. They're horrible to one another. If you ever go and poll in 4chan, these are not happy people. They're not pushing each other up. They're not being supportive or invigorating. They're not congratulating each other on any of their personal successes. The closest they will get, to being kind to one another is one of them will say, "Oh God, please God help me. I'm such a degenerate. I can't stop jerking off to interracial cuckold porn. I want to kill myself." And then somebody replying with a handy dandy suggestions as to how they could go ahead and kill themselves. That's about the closest we're going to get to kindness in these spaces. Seriously, I God knows I spend plenty of time in them. They're horrible to each other. And they do this because there's nothing positive for them in their lives. They're miserable, and directing hate outwards is all they have. But we have something different, You have something different. You're capable of building something different because the politics of left-leaning people are not antithetical to the politics of kindness. And that's one of the reasons why I think we have real staying power and have had real staying power in spite of the, enormous institutional challenges we face. The right is better at weaponizing hate. We're far better at weaponizing kindness. And, people are going to invariably gravitate towards one or the other. Both are necessary. We will never die. Yin Yang, Joker to Batman. All it takes is one little push. So on and so forth. Half of that was nonsense, but that was the
No, I totally caught you. I actually, as you were going through that, I wanted to ask you, I don't know how to word this. Are you more authoritarian leaning, or are you more like...
I'm incredibly libertarian leaning. Insanely so. I purged all the tankies from my community. Anytime I got any status in my chat, I run them over, okay? I IRL kill them. That's not true, FBI. It's true, though. It is true. As a joke. I get them out of here.
The only tanky I have in my community is my moderation bot. My moderation bot is I'm pretty sure is a tanky. Just the level of authoritarianism. I don't even have control over my moderation bot, so that's pretty fucking rough. But yeah, I'm the same way. I was just curious though.
Okay. Can you talk to my stream for 1 second? I'm pretty sure one of my cats is, from what I can hear, dying. And I need to check.
Yeah, go.
Enjoy. Yeah, go enjoy. I'll be right back. I'm just going to make sure. Okay?
Okay. So listen up, folks.
What's going on?
I have a problem. I haven't even got to come over and say hi to you. I posted the link to you, but okay, there we go. I'm over here by you. I can see you. Hi, chat. Is that are we getting poggies in chat? Hypers. Excuse me, hypers. How are you doing? Drop the N-bomb. What? No. How's everyone doing? There's the poggies. Oh my goodness. Patch, how's everyone doing? How's your day been? Is Vosh good to you? I hope Vosh is good to you. Oh my goodness. I'd like to think of myself as a nice and kind person, but Eva is so sweet and nice it gives me diabetes. I stopped to read a comment and I'm like, oh my God. I'm dead. It's so nice to meet you, though. Vosh is evil? Dang! I wonder if my chat would say that about me when I left. You need dog? My dog is sleeping over there. Sorry. Vosh is mean all the time. Lucid Fox, welcome in. Eva, help us. No. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Do you have any questions? I might try to stop and like answer a question if you have one. You have a doggo? I do. She's a Shih Tzu. Her name is Ayumi. I absolutely adore her. She normally sleeps near me when I'm streaming.
Okay.
If I stream too long, she gets upset.
Jesus Christ.
Is your cat okay?
All right, hello?
Is your cat okay?
The cat's fine. Okay. So when I went down there, there was no explanation for the noise. I could hear them screaming. I went down there, they're both just standing there in the fucking living room, okay? But apparently, earlier, they got locked out of the bedroom. Sorry, I ran. They got locked out of the bedroom because my girlfriend had a cup of water that she set on my dresser to so she could go take a piss. And then, while she was peeing, the cat jumped up on the dresser and knocked the full cup of water into my hamper, which had clothes in it. 10-second window. And then she threw them out. And then when I went downstairs just now to take a piss, the fucking cat ran up to fucking jump in the toilet and I nearly hit my cat with a piss stream. Fucking... absolute fucking lunatic. Out the door. Out the door tomorrow, I swear. Every day I swear this. He'll live till he's 25. Ugh. Okay, sorry. I swear I heard fucking cat screaming, but no, they're fine. They're just chilling.
Well, I'm glad they're okay. That's what's important.
Yeah. Okay. What did I miss? What you radicalized? Say the N-word? Do I need to delete the VOD?
Yeah, they told me to say drop the N-bomb or something, and they said you're evil. And they asked me about my dog. We chatted about my dog.
Nice. Okay, good. All positive.
So we had a lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah, all positive vibes. Okay, I'm glad to hear that, you know. Vosh, why are you interrupting Eva's stream? Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, I sprinted up here after the piss thing, you know. I felt I'd had enough bad luck with them. I didn't want to, you know, test it by staying around anymore.
Oh, no, they were really sweet.
Chat? Yeah, I have my rule in my community is nobody gets to be edgier than me. That's my threshold. Because one thing I'm really cautious of is that there are a lot of, okay, so you know Gamergate, right?
Yeah, vaguely.
Yeah. So, yeah, because there were a lot of like skeptic, concerned, you know, political agitators who are concerned about the SJWs taking over video games. A lot of these people were at least ostensibly liberal. You know, they don't believe that all, you know, they don't want to bring back slavery or want to bring back apartheid. They don't think women should be locked up in the house barefoot, you know, and pregnant. But because they were, you know, put it lightly, fucking idiots, you know, they let their communities trend much farther right than they did. And for that reason, I'm very cautious of the idea that edginess can be sort of an invitation to reactionaries into my community. So that's the rule. It's as edgy as me and no further. Anyone more edgy than that, you're out, or you have to tone it down. The Discord is actually like, my Discord, I swear to God, these people hate me. Every time I go there, it's people complaining about how problematic I am. But I would rather have a community complaining about how problematic I am than a community telling me it was epic and based when I shouted down that non-binary streamer I talked to, you know, and how it was, you know, cringe that they weren't, I don't know, whiter. I don't know, whatever analogous, you know, comparison you want to make. So that's the line that I draw. I think it's a reasonably fair one. As long as people can agree I'm not a reactionary, nobody can say my community is.
Yeah, I heard a lot of, you know, I heard a lot of things about you. And then what's interesting is I ended up meeting a fair amount of your community. And I was like, dang, these people are actually a little bit like a bunch of sweethearts.
They're meanest to me.
They're meanest to you. Oh. Well, I mean,
I do think a lot of characterizations of myself that float around the internet are fairly dishonest, or at the very least misrepresentative of the kind of, you know, platform that I run here. Like when people talk about me having a reactionary community, I don't know what they're going on about. If anything, my community is too sensitive for me. I let slip, you know, the R slur a time or two. The chat just starts yelling at me. good behavior on their part, but you know, in the moment, I'm like, come on, guys, I'm trying to have fun over here. So I don't get the characterization of a reactionary community. If anything, I appreciate it. You know, it keeps me in check a little bit. Maybe I'd be too edgy without them. It's easy to be edgy when you do what I do, because edginess will always drive attention in a way that sort of placid calmness can't. And that makes it a bit of a, you know, monetary incentivization that is fairly alluring, I think. So I guess I appreciate them being, you know, little babies.
Well, chat, thank you for keeping Vosh in check. I appreciate that. Oh my goodness. That's nice, though. Yeah. I've never thought of that before, like your chat being less edgy than you. Fair enough, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's a good policy.
Yeah, because, well, you and I agree, keeping control of your community is like one of the most important parts of doing any kind of online advocacy, you know? Even if we assume... Oh, sorry.
No, I interrupted you. I didn't realize.
Oh, yeah, but I talk forever. I swear I say that every time I talk to somebody, I feel bad because I don't do this with other people. I don't like go on shows or anything. I just yell at a mic for 4 hours. I'm not used to talking to other people. So when I do, I invariably talk forever until they get a chance. So please go, and then I'll ramble.
I totally understand. I was just going to say, like, do you feel, I mean, how many people are here right now? I don't even know.
Probably about 2,000 maybe.
Yeah. So do you feel that it's still possible to keep some level of control over your community at that level?
Some tiers of it. My website chat and the Discord, yes, definitely. The YouTube chat I have given up on. YouTube chat, I think most days is pretty okay, but it gets infiltrated with Nazis anytime I talk about certain political figures. I don't even bother. We ban the worst ones, but I don't consider them part of my, like, the social net of my community, you know? If anything, I'm glad they're there because it means that my rhetoric reaches people who disagree with me, who are, of course, where my rhetoric needs to be, you know, concentrated towards. My Discord has like 7,000 people, but I think active users would probably be in the less than 1,000. They're pretty okay. Getting past this point, though, I don't know how you could control a community much larger than this. Destiny doesn't control his. That's
what I was thinking of,
yeah. His Reddit and Discord have as many progressives as they do reactionaries, as many liberals as they do, you know, illiberals. He clearly either can't do it or isn't willing to do it, which means that there's either a threshold that can't be overcome without insanely aggressive moderation, or that he just isn't interested. It's probably a mix of both, you know?
Yeah, I always wonder about this because I've been very concerned about, like, obviously I'm very mindful of my community because it's supposed to be like a combination of a safe space and like a learning space. So I'm very careful about that. But I just wonder, like, as I get larger and I hear, like, I have heard Destiny mention that, right? And so I was just wondering, like, where is the point at which you can't anymore? And do I, like, I don't know. I don't want to lose control of my community. And I get super angry when I don't even call people out on Twitter anymore because I get so mad if one person goes after them in a mean way. I'm like, listen, no harassing other people. I get really mad about it.
You're so like, much more. I love having a harassment mob that I can summon, because most of the people I disagree with are Nazis or very far right. I have no concern whatsoever for these people's well-being. I simply don't care about them as humans. When I'm arguing with like the sensitive lefty type stuff, this is okay. So a while ago, like 6 months ago, I went on this big arc where I got really, really goddamn mad at I call them woke scolds. Some people say Ben Shapiro made up that term. I disagree with their, you know, with their sourcing, but whatever. It doesn't matter where the term comes from. Very, very sensitive left-leaning people who seem more interested in performatively canceling others or you know, exaggerating. Oof.
Sorry.
No, not at all. Exaggerating moral grievances than they are with actually advocating for leftism. I think the term woke scold's pretty okay. You know, it sounds, it's evocative, whatever. And I would engage with these people from time to time. I've found since it's not worth doing. And it wasn't particularly satisfying for me, in large part because an inexorable component of criticizing left-leaning people, especially since a lot of these people are trans, is that I'm going to attract the type of people who like criticizing left-leaning trans people. No matter how I do it, no matter how I phrase it, no matter how I engage with it, no matter how responsibly. So now I try to only do it in the most distanced, like a sort of like hands-off, like political abstraction possible, without actually getting in the dirt of arguing with individuals or even with broader communities. I find it works much better, you know?
Yeah, I respect that, and I appreciate you recognizing that. I do. I disagree with the term woke scold, but
I figured probably, but you know what I mean, though. You get the sentiment, yeah.
I do. I think I understand the concept. I feel like what I'm going to like, if we continue talking, I'm going to be the one that like, I almost sometimes feel like I am on the side of what you would call the woke scolds. It's just, I can take what they are saying and try to tone police the fuck out of myself and try to communicate that to other people. That's my hope. So
well, yeah, that's why I originally thought that I wouldn't like you when I first saw you. But then I realized you act in good faith, and that's really all that matters. I don't care about people having different opinions than me as long as they operate in decent faith. If that's the case, we can discuss any grievances. It's when people disagree with me and they misrepresent my positions to the extent that we're not even operating the same reality, then I feel like there's nothing I can really do but sort of performatively engage in aggression. But people who act in good faith, I have no problems with them.
That's a question I actually had. I was going to ask you, in bad faith, what does that mean? Does that mean misrepresenting your argument? Like, what does in bad faith mean? Or bad faith actors? Like, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, usually I think bad faith usually refers to people who deliberately misrepresent information, or if it's not being done deliberately, their internal processes for sort of like engaging with and regurgitating information are so warped that what you're arguing with isn't really representative of the reality underpinning their sort of positions. So I get this a lot when people say, for example, that I'm a fascist. I think that this is such a ridiculous mischaracterization of my position. I don't think there's any evidence they could have been presented that would lead them to that conclusion, like in a logical way. It has to be through some sort of bad faith process, or they're lying deliberately when they push it back out. Same with people who say, for example, if we can get a little bit more prescient, people who say that Natalie Rinn, that ContraPoints is a true scum. I would say that that the evidence for this is simply non-existent, or at the very least, incredibly, speculatory, and that anyone making that claim in confidence is doing so in bad faith. Those tendencies, I have difficulty engaging with that. But people who have criticisms of Natalie's behavior of mine, for example, I can always engage with those. I like engaging with those. I can learn from criticisms of my position.
Okay. Thank you. That's one question I know I really had, because I had like in bad faith. For me, we talked about that regarding moderation policy. To me, that was people who were like jacking off in my chat, right? Like just asking a bajillion questions that's just derailing or whatever. And I used that, and some people got very upset with me for saying bad faith, because I'm pretty sure because of you and a few other people. So I was just curious.
That's totally bad faith. 100%. Yeah, the GA queuing off shit is 100. For a second, I forgot the terminology. I thought you meant they were typing out like, oh God, you look so nice today. Oh, fuck. I mean, which, by the way, also not great engagement, though maybe not necessarily bad faith. Yeah, that JQ shit. I never get it. I know you get it with trans issues. You have to. Every fucking trans person gets this shit if they have a public platform.
It's so annoying.
I get it with JQ stuff mostly. Like, hey, I'm just curious, Vosh, don't you think it's interesting that Jews own this like percentage of like businesses in Hollywood? Hey, that's really, hey, I'm not a Nazi, dude. I'm just asking questions. You should be able to answer questions about your fucking positions, dude. Anyway, Jews have an average IQ of like, like that shit.
And you're like, stop right now. Just stop. Yeah. No, I feel that. So I just say, okay, well, you know, that's bad faith. We're not engaging. And a lot of my, like, it's been interesting to see like how people have responded to me saying something like that, like this is in bad faith, and then thinking that I'm going to come after them for being bad faith.
You're totally in the right on
Probably.
that one. That's a fair characterization of their behavior. Also, someone in chat has been begging us to say diabetic rights. I'm out of the loop on this one, but yeah, diabetic rights?
Yeah, 100%
Sure.
diabetic rights.
I don't think I've ever actually said that before. I guess I assumed that that was implicitly suggested, but yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
He said it. Yes, we solved it. Okay, there we go. All right, they're freaking out now. They're having fun. Fucking weirdos. Diabetic rights mean free healthcare for all. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Oh man, do you how often do you talk about ableism in your community?
Oh, okay. So I have been working ableist language out of my rhetoric. It's hard because like my favorite, when I'm the angriest, my favorite phrase is stupid fucker. Like that just, it just has that hit.
No,
you
it's
know?
good. No, it's good. It feels good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm switching over to fuckface. We had this long discussion on whether or not this is rude regarding like, is it the same as cocksucker? Are we saying like, I hope all the, oh yeah, these things are probably fine to say on your stream.
You
right?
can say
yeah.
literally. I've said the N-word here. You can say anything you want.
Okay, all right. Well, so yeah, we had a whole discussion on this. I have talked about working ableist language out, and I talk occasionally. I used to work with intellectually disabled people, and that's a huge part of me growing up and never using the R word. Like the R word is super offensive in our family, yet my mom will say the N word and like not get why that's a problem. Anyway, I do occasionally talk about ableism. And I'm working even more on doing that. One of my main hopes right now is to be teaming up with one of my moderators who's hard of hearing and hopefully a few disabled streamers and talking about the basics of disability rights and the social model of disability and things like that. I'm learning though. I only have like some experiences.
Ableism is such a tough one for me because so there are obvious levels of ableism that I think any reasonable person could say are bad, like fucking like insulting Down syndrome people or whatever. Like, come on, like why?
Yeah.
Like, come on. The thing is though, like with but you could also make the argument. I'll make the argument. I won't distance myself from this. I'm making the argument that it is generally speaking good to be intelligent and not good to be unintelligent. Those are moralizing terms, but I mean this in a utilitarian sense. You know, you can generally do more. And again, this is all very broad and abstracted and stuff, but it means that there's always going to be a prescriptive power to making accusations as to someone being like unintelligent, for example. That doesn't exist with other like isms, like with racism. It's not better to be white or black on an intrinsic utilitarian level. Well, actually, on a utilitarian level, it's definitely better to be white because life is easier for us on account of privileges and stuff. But
privileges, yeah.
Right. But in terms of the sort of intrinsic characterization of one's abilities, it doesn't have any effect. If anything, being black means you're free from sunburn a little bit easier. So it's, they've got that up on us. But with ableism, I find it a little bit more difficult. Also because it's such an important component of performative cruelty, which is like the only way to reach some right-leaning people. Calling people stupid or brain dead or smooth-brained or whatever. They are ableist terms. I'm impugning somebody's intelligence, but they have a prescriptive power that doesn't exist with other forms of isms because those isms only really reinforce the bias they feed into. Whereas something with ableism, if I call, like, for example, a flat earther stupid, I'm more impugning flat earth than I am impugning stupidity as a concept. Though that could just be because it's been normalized to that extent. Maybe I would feel differently if somebody tried to make that argument with like, oh, well, when I say that it's gay, I'm not saying it's gay like gay. I'm saying it's gay like it's bad. Whatever the case is, there's a more interesting discussion there to be had than I think there is with racism or sexism, you know?
So I hear what you're saying, right? So some people really, really value strength, right?
Mhm.
And they're going to say, well, if you're born biologically male, you're going to, generally speaking, be stronger. And that is just good, right?
Well, they
I
would say that, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas I don't know. I have met a lot of intellectually disabled people who are kinder than some people who are really fucking smart, but they're just horrible people, right? So I almost want to say maybe we're valuing, like, are we overvaluing intelligence? I definitely value intelligence. Don't get me wrong, but I also
totally agree with what
value
you're saying, by the way.
kindness.
No, I totally agree. When I was young, this was my switch. When I was a little fucking kid, I thought the problem with the world is that there is too many mean people. And then I got older and I thought, no. Pushes up glasses, light reflects on lenses. Actually, the problem with the world is that there are too many stupid people. If only everyone was as smart as me, the world would finally be a utopia. And then I get a little older than that. Now I'm here and I'm like, no, the issue is definitely that some people are fucking evil. The issue is definitely that a lot of people are just callous and different assholes who don't give a shit about making life better for other people. And that unintelligence is very rarely unintelligence causes mishaps. It causes logistical errors. It causes, miscommunication sometimes. It doesn't cause the Holocaust. It doesn't cause the genocide of the Uyghur Muslims. It doesn't cause fucking global warming. People knew global warming was happening in the 50s, okay? They did it's not because we weren't intelligent enough to figure the problem out. The problem isn't the intelligence, it's the care. The issue is though, and this is the frustrating thing, you can't do this in debates. If I'm arguing with some like ethno-nationalist and they're arguing that our economy is being devastated by brown people or something, and all the evidence is against them, which it is, and I can point this out, I can't say like, hey, here's the evidence. You're fucking mean. You're unkind. Like it lands like a whoopee cushion. Nobody. It's unimpressive.
This I hear. Yeah.
Yeah. It lands like nothing. But if I say, here's the evidence, you're a fucking idiot. How dare you shame me by arriving to this discussion with the 3 IQ points that you were born with? How dare you not bring to me more? It will always sell harder. It will always hit harder. But what I really want to say, and what I really believe, of course, genuinely in my heart, is that the intelligence isn't the issue. The person isn't stupid, the person I'm arguing with. Most of the big conservative figures online, with some exceptions, aren't really stupid. They're just really fucking cruel, and they arrive at their positions because it's the only way they can justify that cruelty. It's irrational, but it's not stupidity. It's just, post hoc rationalization of their hatred of certain groups of people. I just can't say that because it doesn't work,
Okay.
Maybe for a few people.
I almost want to say, could you just call them disgusting? Could you find words that have a similar punch but aren't ableist?
No, I have to call them an idiot. I can throw disgusting into the mix there, yeah, but no, I have
All
to.
right, well, I'm gonna this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna just be like, Vosh, I think that we're gonna put Vosh on harm mode. We're gonna find a way. I believe it. I'm gonna give you better words than ableist words. Just wait for it.
Listen. My DMs are open. My DMs are open. Hey, it's not a personal impugn, and your tactics reflect a better world, mind you. I'm very willing to admit that. I don't want to in 2282. When we're living in the utopia. I don't want the world to be populated with people who are still clinging on to the performative cruelty they needed to argue with people who disagreed. I want it to be full of people like you, and I think that's why. These sentiments need to be cultivated. But you know what? Maybe my biases are incorrect. Maybe it would be more performatively compelling to use certain language with these folks. I don't know. I can give it a try. I go through plenty of debates. There's plenty of opportunities for me to give it a shot. Don't be if I start calling people smooth-brained idiots who don't have enough neural activity to power a coffee maker, though. Please don't get too upset with me in my DMs. Okay, I'm trying my best for you.
I'll show up and I'll be like, "Hey, Vosh, I've got new words for you. Please use them." That's how we'll handle that. That's how we'll handle that.
Absolutely. Hey, wait, there's two more things. Because I have to yell at Elizabeth Warren. This is very important. Oh, and we're turn off the stream, okay? We're pulling no punches on this, okay? I'm going to invent new isms, and I've said this. There's spoilers, for future. I am now sexist because of Elizabeth Warren. She did it. It's her fault. It's not my fault. I take no personal responsibility.
Wait, no. Listen,
not really.
You support Bernie. You support Bernie. No.
It's just,
no.
You know, I'm taking the piss.
I've got you.
Yeah. Well, sexist Bernie. Okay, the Bernie Bros. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. First of all, please shout yourself out.
Me? Thank you.
Of course.
Shoot. I'm Eva Udalove. I go by they, them pronouns. I'm on Twitch at Eva Udalove. And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Occasionally I bump Vosh's Twitter because he says, sometimes he says things I enjoy sometimes. And then sometimes I'm like, I need to give you more words. And I teach intersectional feminism and talk about men's liberation a lot, and veganism, which I know is probably everyone's favorite topic.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
wait, are you a vegan?
Love that topic? I am.
Of course you are. That's why your hair is run white, because you lack of nutrients.
It is. It's true. It's also why I don't have really see this lack of muscle. It's because I'm vegan. It's true.
I just got back into the gym the other day. Listen. Maybe you could out bench me right now. I was pretty weak when I went back. I hurt my back deadlifting 2.5 months ago, and I'm getting back into it. And now there I am, all my lifts right back down the fucking drain. What are you gonna do?
I'm sorry. I'm about to get back in the gym, and I'm really looking forward to it. I have this problem where the muscles here are so easy to pull. I think I don't know if this is a valid thing, but I sleep with my arms above my head, and I wonder if that's causing it because I don't know.
Maybe
but these muscles just really weak or something. I don't know. I gotta be careful though.
I feel like past 18, everyone has at least one debilitating physical sort of quirk that means they have to be careful with certain types of exercises. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because for
annoying.
For me it has to be my lower back. And also I have fucking neck pain because I sleep like an idiot too. But you know what? We can all be swole together. Hold on. Are you watching stream, by the way?
I have your chat zooming by. I didn't. Oh, heck! Now I am.
Yeah, watch stream. Okay, here you go. Fair reciprocation. We'll send you off real positive. Here. Cat.
He's sleepy.
Sleepy. Sleepy boy. Sleepy boy.
Bring him back.
Sleepy boy. Sleepy boy. All right, what's up? I'm here. Okay, there we go.
Oh my god.
He's the stream mascot. I didn't consent to this. What? All right, there we go. There you go. See, look, he's very stupid, and he nearly got pissed on a little while ago. And he's also purring.
What's his name?
His name's Artemy.
He's precious.
Yeah, here, wait. Can we hear the purrs? Get over here. Fucking lunatic.
Aww, he's so precious.
There we go. That's the fair pet reciprocation. Known famous because when he was younger, every time I'd bring him in here, he'd say the N-word into the mic.
Oh, God.
Hey.
Oh my goodness.
Eva, thank you so much for coming to speak with me. I really, really appreciate it, and I appreciate your content a lot. I can't pop into chat or nothing, but I'm there when I'm there.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for stopping by. Thank you for all the support, and thank you for bringing me purrs. I don't have a cat. I grew up with cats, and I miss that, so thank you.
Of course. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Have a good one. Thank you for having me. Bye, chat. Bye, Artemis, and have a lovely day.
Yeah, get back into dancing. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you. I will.
Peace. Well, that was a fun convo, wasn't it? I respect Eva Unilov quite a bit. Obviously, we disagree in a lot, but you can respect people because of that sometimes, not just in spite of it. You are so goddamn sleepy. You are the sleepiest little lad. It's crazy how sleepy you are. Look at you.